One of the most recurrent consultations we receive at Emerging Investor Spain is about the possibility of getting mortgage financing for the purchase of a real estate property in Spain as a non-resident foreign investor. It may be that you are moving to Spain and you have other properties in your country and do not have enough liquidity at the moment to buy a property in Spain full cash, or it can also be that you are an avid investor who prefers to get a cheap mortgage so that you can invest that liquidity in other better performing assets to obtain a greater return. Whatever the motive may be, the short answer to whether a non-resident foreigner can get a mortgage in Spain is yes, but obviously provided that you meet certain requirements that we will see now. This is Oscar Turegano from Emerging Investors Spain, one of the leading property buyers agencies in Spain specialized in non-resident foreigners. We provide all the immigration, banking, and real estate services that a foreign property buyer or an investor will need here in Spain. In this video, we'll explain all you need to know about getting a mortgage in Spain as a foreigner. So stay tuned because you will learn many tricks and strategies that I'm sure they will help you very much. Now you have to understand that in this video I can show you the most important things you should know beforehand. I can show you how we get the best mortgages for our clients and everything you should take into account when negotiating your mortgage with the bank. However, the most important factor that will determine the success of your mortgage will be your experience and network of banking contacts in Spain. And this is how the banking world works, whether it is in Spain, the United States, or any other country in the world. Is all about contact. A mortgage broker who negotiates dozens or hundreds of mortgages every year will have a network of contacts and negotiating power with the banks that you as an individual buyer applying for your first mortgage in Spain will not have. So before moving forward, the best advice I can give you is to leave your mortgage in the hands of an expert. And trust me when I say that you will save a lot of time and a lot of money. And now let's talk about the most important questions that you have. Who can get a mortgage in Spain? Now, any citizen of the world can obtain a mortgage in Spain, but based in our experience, the most important factor is not so much the nationality of the applicant. The passport doesn't matter. But what actually matters is the country of tax residency and especially the currency of your income. So basically, the bank will assess the risk of your operation, of your mortgage, according to the risk of your currency of income. And unfortunately, the bank will only accept a few currencies, which are the euro and other European currencies, such as the Swiss franc or the Swedish krona, the British pound, the US dollar, the Canadian dollar, and some other currencies such as the Japanese yen and the Australian dollar, but not so many other currencies. Now, if your currency of income is none of those, you may also be able to get mortgage financing options, but the range of options will be reduced and the mortgage conditions will be worse. For example, if you live in the Philippines, but your clients or your company pays you in US dollars instead of Filipino pesos, you will have no problem obtaining a mortgage in Spain. On the other hand, if you are paid in Filipino pesos, your chances of success will be much lower. And here I must say that the residents in the European Union and in the United States of America are the ones who enjoy better access to financing options here in Spain. Now, how much money can I borrow? As a general rule, the bank will give you up to 70% of the appraised value of the property, although everything is negotiable. In some exceptional cases, we have closed mortgages for foreigners of 80% or even 90%, although I recommend to ask for a maximum of 70% because the conditions will be much better. So to keep it simple, if you exceed the 70% loan to value, the bank will counteract that additional risk that they are assuming with a higher interest rate. So it is not a very interesting option in the long term. Keep in mind that the bank will lend you money based on the appraised value, which is not the same as the purchase value. An appraiser approved by the Bank of Spain will assess the property value and the bank will lend you the money based on that value. So you can imagine how important it is to have a trustworthy appraiser in your network of contacts. Also, another important condition is that the amount that the bank will lend you will also be conditioned by the 30% rule. This rule basically means that the maximum amount that the bank will lend you is a 30% of your net income. That is discounting the debt you already have or filling that the rent that you are paying for your primary residence. For example, if your annual income is 100,000 euros and you have an annual debt of 30,000 euros, your net income for the mortgage study would be 70,000 euros. Now on that 70,000 euros, the bank will apply the 30% rule. So 30% of 70,000 euros is 21,000 euros. 21,000 euros per year would be the maximum you could pay in mortgage expenses, taking into consideration both the principal amortization and the interest payments. To give you an idea, with the current interest rates, if you earn about 70,000 euros net per year, you could be offered a 25% mortgage worth about 320,000 euros, something like that. And what are the terms and conditions of a mortgage in Spain? Now, the terms and conditions of a mortgage depend on many factors, but we could summarize them in only two, which are the European interbank interest rate, known as Euribor, and the risk profile of the applicant. Now, here I must also emphasize that there are three types of mortgages that a foreigner can obtain in Spain, which are fixed rate mortgage, mixed rate mortgage, and variable rate mortgage. All of them with a French amortization system. We're always starting from the same installment amount. In the first years of the loan, you will pay more interest, and in the last years, you will pay most of the principal. Now, if you don't work with a mortgage broker and you are not resident in Spain, if you go directly to the bank to apply for a mortgage, they will only offer you variable rate mortgages, since with this mortgage, the bank does not assume any risk at all. However, with a mortgage broker, they can probably get you mixed and fixed rate mortgages. Now, at this moment, if you go for a variable rate mortgage, the cost would be of around European interest rate plus a risk premium of between 0.75 and 1.5% depending on your risk profile. Therefore, if the European interest rate at this moment is at around 3.70%, something like that, the total cost of the mortgage plus the risk premium would be of around 5%. But if you go for a fixed rate mortgage, here at Emergent Investor Spain, we are currently looking at mortgages for our clients of between 3 and 4% depending on your risk profile. The term of your mortgage will depend on your age. As a general rule, mortgages for non-resident foreigners are offered for an average term of 20 to 25 years or until the applicant reaches the age of 75. That means that if you are 60 years old, the bank will offer you a 15-year mortgage, not a 25-year mortgage. Now, which are the best banks for mortgages for foreigners? The choice of the best banks depend again on many variables, such as your currency of income, the location of the property, your country of residency, your nationality, whether it is a new or second-hand property. However, I can tell you that the main banks we work with and we have obtained the best results are Banco Santander, BBVA, CaixaBank, Banco Sabadell, Bankinter, Unicaja, Abanca, and UCI. But again, depending on the profile of our client, we opt for some banks or others to try to get the most competitive offers in the shortest possible time. Because this is another thing, keep in mind that timing is very important, since you will only be able to formalize the mortgage when you have signed a deposit contract for a property. So you should find, negotiate, and formalize a mortgage loan in less than 60-70 days so that you don't run any risk at all. Again, if you work with a mortgage broker, you will not have to worry about anything. For instance, we specialize in non-resident foreign clients, and we have more than 20 collaborations with Spanish banks. In addition, our bank collaborators can work 100% remotely with our clients so they can formalize their mortgage from their home country without the need to come to Spain to sign it. And finally, how much does a mortgage broker charge? Now, the fees of a mortgage broker are between 1.5 to 2.5% of the mortgage value, and they don't charge anything at all if you don't accept any mortgage offer from them. Here, the recommendation that I could give you is to always look for independent brokers or small companies that offer more customized services, since the big companies and brokers work by volume of clients and do not provide a quality service. It is important that you have direct contact with the agent who's looking for your mortgage, since as we have already mentioned, timing is fundamental. If you're Spanish or a foreigner resident in Spain, look for a broker who works with national clients. Although it may seem the same, mortgages for residents and non-residents are completely different. If you're looking to get a mortgage and purchase property in Spain, here at Emerging Investor Spain, we can provide you with all the real estate, banking, and immigration solutions that you will need. All the location and property research, negotiation and contracts management, legal due diligence, mortgage sourcing, bank account opening, visa application, absolutely everything so that you don't have to hire 4 different companies and end up paying a huge amount in fees. If you're interested in knowing more about our services, please request a free assessment call with me through the link you will find in the description below. Thank you very much for watching.